Hi, I'm Donna Hutchison, a museum educator at Crystal Bridges Museum of American Art, and this is Bridging the Gap, a series of digital art engagements. In this segment, we'll be looking at the Backwoods of America by Jasper Cropsey. Before we go any further, make sure you have a pencil and a sheet of paper to respond to a prompt that I'll give you later. Please pause the video to collect what you need. Before we start discussing this work of art, let's take a few moments to look closely at it. Start by letting your eyes wander around the painting, looking closely at all the details. Please pause the video to give yourself time to look. There certainly is a lot to see in this painting. Maybe the first thing you noticed is the man and his dog. He is a pioneer who carries an axe over his shoulder and walks toward us into the forest. What do you think he's going to do with that axe? Right, I agree. He's probably going to cut down a tree. What do you think he'll do with that tree after he has cut it down? This painting was made in 1858 at a time when Americans were moving west. Immigrants came to America from Europe looking for better lives, and many Americans living in cities wanted land for themselves. But by the 1840s, most land east of the Mississippi River had been settled already, so people who wanted to farm or ranch had to move even further west. However, Native Americans lived on those western lands and did not want to give up their homes. What resulted was a series of conflicts as Americans gradually encroached upon and eventually stole native lands. In moving into the frontier, pioneer families found they needed to make changes in their new environment to meet their needs. Some families settled in grassy plains or arid deserts. Others settled in mountains with deep forests, like the pioneers you see here in Backwoods of America. But in every case, pioneers had to make changes to that place to survive. When we began, I asked you to take time to look all around the painting to find interesting details. Now we are going to use those details you found. Please get your paper and pencil because we're going to make a list. Let's see how many details you noticed that show how this pioneer family has changed their environment to meet their needs. I'll get you started with an easy one. The man planted pumpkins to eat. Do you see them in the lower right corner, close to our eyes in the front? What else has this pioneer family done to change their environment? Please pause the video while you make your list. This family is living out an idea called manifest destiny. Let's break that term into its two parts. Manifest is a fancy word that means clear or obvious. Destiny means fate. Taken together, Americans in the 1840s and 50s thought that it was our country's obvious fate to expand across the continent from the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean, and Native American groups would not be allowed to stand in our way. A new president, James Polk, was even elected on the idea of Americans moving west and claiming native land for their families. On that land, Americans would build homes and farms, found cities, and the entire continent would become part of the United States, one homestead at a time. Thank you for watching. This has been Bridging the Gap from Crystal Bridges.